People of Earth, my name is Dan Phelps, and I'm super thrilled to tell you that I have a new record out called Vessel, V-E-S-S-E-L. Vessel is a 45-minute-ish long solo improvisation performance. It's just me, my guitar, my laptop rig, generating all this music from front to back. This is a style of performing that I've been developing for a couple of years now. It started as a way to generate more music on the fly during recording sessions, because I love the mix stage of recording where you get to really transform things with effects and you can create new gestures and through processing. And I wanted to be able to do that, well, basically at the beginning, the birth of a piece of music, so that everyone could hear it that way and it would add to the inspiration of the other musicians and create a more complete sounding thing at the beginning. And once I started to do that on other people's projects, I realized, hey, this could be a way that I can perform live solo. I've always done these albums that were studio creations, real collage of all kinds of different stuff going on and basically no hope of being recreated anywhere in a live setting because the musicians required would be too busy, because it's hard to book a string octet and the logistics of it would just be out of control. So the idea that I could actually throw my stuff in a car and go play a show by myself was super attractive and something I was really into. And I started doing residencies here in Seattle where I would improvise in a space for 3 or 4 hours, which gave me a lot of time to develop this process, these techniques that I use in making this music. I started playing more shows. And then in 2016, I did a short tour that culminated in a recording session. I spent a few days just improvising and then mixing, and the performance that became Vessel came out of that time. It's pretty much just me going for it for about 45 minutes. It doesn't really sound like somebody making it up as they go along because it's patient and it builds and there's compositional moments, but it truly is an improvisation, which I'm really proud of. And it's an interesting way to make music, to kind of be alone and generating everything on your own. It's a strange process of going inward, but also of kind of like you're blacking out. The good stuff comes when I'm not aware and I'm not thinking, and honestly, but when I reach the end of the performance, I can't really remember what happened in the performance. So it's like musical amnesia happens when it's really good, which I'm thankful that this was documented because it's a really good improvisation. It was recorded and mixed by my friend Martin Woodley and mastered by my other friend David Torn, who is kind of the originator of a lot of these looping and ambient guitar concepts that I'm applying in this. So I'm super psyched to have his ear on this. And doing this music has kind of given birth to a bigger desire, a larger mission that came out of doing live performances. I would be improvising this ambient music, and afterwards people would come up to me and say, during that section that sounded like Technicolor clouds moving in front of a blue sky, or some crazy description that they would give me, I had this vision, or I had this feeling, or I thought about this person, or all kinds of stuff that they experienced while I was playing. And I thought, well, that's really interesting because I didn't tell them to have that experience or say, hey, this is a place for you to have a semi-hallucinatory vision. But I loved it. I loved that people were bringing things into the room with them, and I was creating music that, well, it was occupying enough for their conscious mind, for their unconscious mind to then run around and explore things. And I thought, this is really cool. And I started to get interested in the power of losing track of time, of taking in music and art that removes you from your awareness of the passage of time, of like the ticking of the seconds. Because I think that the passage of time is kind of connected to our awareness of our own mortality. And maybe that's kind of heavy to talk about here in this video, but I think it's true. We're like the only creatures that can contemplate our death, and we know that it's coming and that every moment is one step closer to the time when we're not here anymore, but we don't know when it's going to happen. I don't think people are meant to really live fully that way without some form of relief. So it's become a passion of mine to create scenarios where people can lose track of time. And sometimes people get really relaxed when that happens. Sometimes people have cathartic experiences when that happens. They get mentally healed in some ways, and I think it's just beautiful. So for me, Vessel is significant in that it's not only the culmination of several years of effort to build the skill and technique and aesthetic of making this music, of improvising these sounds, but it's also opened me up to this bigger desire and larger purpose in my music of creating these spaces for people to lose track of time and to have this experience. Which is why I'm stoked that it's now out and available in the world on Bandcamp, anywhere where you can buy and download music, and anywhere where you can stream and listen to music, it's there waiting for you. So it's one long piece. I didn't put track dividers in it because that's not what it was. I'm representing it as it happened. So I would suggest maybe cracking open a nice bottle of wine and turning down the lights and playing it on a nice stereo or a nice set of headphones fairly loud and just enjoying it and letting it wash over you. Or you might use it with a purpose in mind, like you need to get some writing done or need to think about some stuff. It's great for that too. And if you're an ambient music and a looping nerd, you can check out my other videos on this channel. I've kind of gone into depth about how I do that kind of music, and I love sharing that stuff with you. If you have any questions about this record, about how it was made or other things that went into it, please ask. I love to connect. So thanks for listening to me ramble about this. It's very near and dear to my heart, and I'm excited that it's out there in the world. See you later.